Welcome to week 11 of On Top the Cage. As always, my co-host to my left is Dan. I am Ken. It is getting cold here in Northeast Ohio where we film. Probably in a couple of weeks it'll look like we're vaping when we're talking out here.
Probably.
So,
It's supposed to be 60 though coming up over the weekend. So.
yeah, it's very fickle weather in Northeast Ohio. Speaking of bad weather, wow, Sunday. Well, of course the Browns game, but yeah, it was awful here. We lost our satellite feed for a bit. One of like an 80-foot tree in my backyard went down, narrowly missed the neighbor's property, which I'm thankful for that. So yeah, weather is changing rapidly here where we're filming. We're going to get our Christmas trees this weekend. Early, we're early.
Thanksgiving. Well, we put ours up that weekend after Thanksgiving, so you're not that early.
Yeah.
I drag it out of the basement though.
Yeah, we get live trees. We get two live trees actually. One's an enormous tree. It goes in the front room. It's like 15 feet tall, and then we get a standard size, I guess 8 or 10 foot size tree. But we have to travel a bit to find the big ones.
How do you get that home?
Truck. They bundle it for you. The service, it's Pine Tree Barn in Worcester, Ohio. A little shout out to them. Is where we go. They do a great job. They bundle everything for you and things like that. Getting it up is another story. It's like a 3-4 man project to get it in the door and upright. So it's fun. It is that season. So
Good brewery in Worcester.
Which one?
JAFB. Just another freaking brewery.
Yeah, that's what it stands for. Yeah. I like the acronym. That's good. We talked about the Masters last week a little bit. I didn't end up watching hardly any of it. I guess it wasn't the same for me when it's not in April and it's in November.
I flipped it on just to see what the course looked like. College Game Day was broadcast in there.
Oh, that's fun, yeah.
Just to check it out because I do like the scenery there.
All right. Other sports-wise, the NBA draft is tonight. I know you're not a fan. No, MLS tournament starts. Yeah, MLS tournament starts later this week, doesn't it? Doesn't it start on Friday?
Friday's that first game. Friday at 6:30. A New England Revolution and I don't know who it was. Nashville, maybe.
Maybe Nashville's allowed to play finally.
I think so.
Is it a hard bracket though? You told me sometimes they play like.
I think this year it's one and done. They're not doing it like they've done in the past. I think it's one and done.
Is it a hard bracket though, like the NCAA tournament, where you could actually bet on it? You could print out the bracket and go for it. Well, that's fun.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, once these playing games are done, yeah. I guess you could do it with the play-ins too, but there's 2 play-ins on the eastern side just because there's more teams.
Gotcha.
So there's a game Friday, and there must be another game. I think it's Saturday.
But it's a printable bracket then. It's a hard bracket, just like the March Madness tournament, things like that. You could find a way to pool some money and maybe quench your betting thirst on that as well. So, beer review, you ready?
Yes, I am.
This one's fun.
Looks good.
This is from the Shea Brewing Company. I've had their beers before, certainly not this one. I largely picked it because my good buddy Adam, who is a counselor by trade and one of the brightest gentlemen I know, he used to moonlight as a bartender at Shea. It's not your traditional Christmas ale. It's not a Christmas ale at all. It is called 2020 a Candy Cane Milk Stout. Peppermint milk stout. You're not lactose intolerant, are you? Is there milk in this thing?
No. No, I'll be good.
8% by alcohol. We are ready to try.
Oh, that's pretty good. I do like it. Chocolatey and minty.
It is I feel like
It's like a cup of coffee.
I'm drinking a peppermint patty. It is certainly different.
That is good.
It is good. It's super good.
You only taste the candy cane at the first sip, and then as it goes down.
How do they get the chocolate in? Is that the milk? Is it chocolate milk?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good beer.
It is. They make great beers. So,
still not number 1.
No, still Slay all day?
Yeah.
All right.
This might be 2, though.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to have to keep track of these because I'm going to forget.
Yeah, we're going to need a list for sure. We will certainly do it.
Producer, get on that.
All right, very good. I think we're on to football unless there's anything else we need to cover. Oh, we need to cover last week. Last week, Dan and I...
Oh, my God, last week.
We both went 7-5-2. I think 7-2-2 going into the final 3 games. I lost all of them. I was hoping for a better number. That brings Dan and I's cumulative records. Dan is 73, 69, and 5, plus 4 on the year. I am 75, 67, and 5 plus 8 on the year. I did check some of the national pundits this week. There's not people doing much better than us at all. So the service that we're providing, I like it. I think you're getting good advice. All right, on to the Thursday night game. Usually we get some clunkers on Thursday night. Not this week. A great game. The 6-3 Arizona Cardinals, they go up north. They play the 6-3 Seattle Seahawks. The line is Seahawks -3. The over-under on this game is 57.5. This is just a great division.
Yeah.
Right now, there's 3 teams at 6-3. Obviously, the 49ers are falling off the pace a little bit with their accumulation of injuries that they've had. But yeah, Arizona, Seattle, and the Rams are all 6-3. Arizona continues to play, is funnest a word? The most fun games to watch.
Yeah, they're entertaining.
They are certainly entertaining. They went on a Hail Mary last week. Crazy stuff. I didn't think Kyler Murray was even going to get the ball off. It was kind of like a fadeaway 40-yard pass in the end zone. Of course, DeAndre Hopkins finds a way to pull it down. So they're a fun game to watch, or fun team to watch. You know, they're okay on defense. The offense can be very dynamic, especially with Murray at quarterback. The Seahawks are coming off 2 losses.
Yeah, I thought Russell Wilson would correct himself last week, and it didn't look a lot better to me.
They're your Super Bowl pick, from week 1. The defense still stinks.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson did turn the ball over, once again, very uncharacteristically, twice last week. -3. I
want to clarify that they're my pick to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily win.
That show's coming up later in the year.
Just so that's on the record.
That's fair enough.
You know, Arizona's playing good. I think there's some luck involved there. They got to go to Seattle. I'm going with the Seahawks in this one.
This is the second time they're playing. They played that absolute overtime thriller.
Yeah.
I want to say it was on Monday night in Arizona. Dan, Seattle -3. I'm uncomfortable. I have as much belief in Russell Wilson to correct things as Dan does. I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to lay the Seahawks -3 as well. The Sunday 1 o'clock slate, not as attractive of game as the first one we're going to talk about, is the Cincinnati Bengals, 2-6-1. They go to play the Washington football team, who is 3-7. The Washington football team is a 1.5 favorite, a short line. The over-under on this game is 46.5. As far as the Bengals, I mean, it's next year, really, for the Bengals. We know they got the queen piece to the chess game, meaning Joe Burrow. They got that piece. Obviously, they got to build it. It's next year for them. They played the Steelers last week, and you asked me, have they played yet? Has Burrow seen that defense yet? The answer was no, and it looked like he hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So, the Pittsburgh had complete control of that game from the outset. As far as the Washington football team, they went into Motor City into Detroit last week. Detroit had control of the game for the most part through the first half or so, and then Washington stormed back. They were down 21 points. They tied it up really late. I think the Lions got the ball back with like 35 seconds left, and they found a way to get a long field goal from Matt Prater. I want to say it was 50-plus yards. They lose that game. Alex Smith, congratulations on coming back and playing well. I mean, that was just a horrific injury. Yeah. I'll go ahead and take the lead on this game. I like the Bengals in this game. I like Joe Burrow. I know the defense isn't much. It's an easier opponent, and he's played well against lesser defenses.
Yeah, the defensive line is pretty good. They're at Cincy. I think they're going to get after Washington. Or no, I said that backwards. The defensive line is good at Washington versus Cincinnati's offensive line. But I like the kid. Burrow's playing well. Alex Smith, I wish.
Dan's hedging. He doesn't know to pick.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with Burrow on this one. The kid, I think, gets his second victory because Washington's just not that good.
It'll be the third. They're 2-6-1. So
third.
There you go.
Sorry.
Dan and I are both on the Bengals on this game. Next game up on the slate, the Atlanta Falcons, 3-6. They travel to play the New Orleans Saints, who are 7-2. The line on this game is the Saints -5. The over/under is 51. Falcons coming off bye. Like I said, they're a 3-6 football team. They shouldn't be a 3-6 football team, though. I mean, the game in Dallas was atrocious. So that would make them 4-5.
I'm still dizzy from watching that ball spin.
The game in Chicago where they gave up game in Atlanta against Chicago where they gave up a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter is another abomination. They really should be 5-4 in the middle of this. I mean, I guess they're not completely out of this. They're not playing bad. They're a good offensive football team. They go to New Orleans. New Orleans is a great football team. Drew Brees is out for this game in the foreseeable future, probably the next 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, credit to him for playing with cracked ribs, a collapsed lung. I told Dan earlier
insane.
I'd be asking for my mom if I had a collapsed lung, I think. And he was out there playing football. That plugs Jameis Winston in.
Crab legs. Here we go, baby.
Who knows what you get from Jameis? Obviously, they use the Swiss Army knife, Taysom Hill. The line is, like I said, New Orleans -5 in this game. The over-under is 51. I'm going to make a dangerous pick, and I'm going to take the Falcons plus the points in this game because I don't believe in Jameis yet.
Man, I'm going with the Falcons too. I don't know. We're on the same wavelength going in. Jameis. I know he threw for a ton of yards his last season at Tampa Bay, but man, he is a turnover machine. We'll see what Sean Payton can do with him, but yeah, I don't trust him yet. I got to see him. I got to check it out first. So I am going with the Falcons here.
Yeah, trust is a better word in regards to Winston and things like that. So the last time I think we picked all the first 3 games together, we had a great week. So hopefully we can duplicate that.
I think we're going to pick the next one the same too.
Most likely. It is the only undefeated team in the National Football League, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their 9-0 record, they get to go travel to a nicer climate in Jacksonville where they play the 1-8 Jaguars. The Steelers are -10. The over-under on this line is 47.5. We mentioned earlier the Steelers had no problems with the Cincinnati Bengals last week. They just keep winning. Their defense is great. The passing game, they have lots of weapons. The running game seems to be kind of throttled down a little bit, but they have a lot on offense and whether or not
they're mixing it up with their receivers. They're letting them run the ball. I think they know that their running game's hurting a little bit. I mean, how many rushing touchdowns does Chase Claypool have?
Right. Yeah,
3?
You got Juju there. You got Deontay Johnson. You put Claypool in, who's like a tight end, really.
Well,
and runs like a wide
pick
receiver.
For them too. He's a stud, and he's getting better every week. I hate it when Notre Dame guys go there.
and our Notre Dame team is on bye this week, unfortunately. Dan and I are both into the Notre Dame football. Let's pause for a second. Talk about Notre Dame football. This is quite a few years ago. They made it to the college football playoff and they played Alabama or whatever it was. And going in, we didn't think they had a chance. I think this team has a legit chance to win the national championship this year.
Defense is playing well. I do think they have some weapons on offense.
It's Book all of a sudden seems to
he
be
looks
playing
really
great.
Good. Really good, because I thought that was the Achilles heel on the offense, honestly.
Yeah, you called him the flaw, and I didn't necessarily disagree. I said the flaw in the team was the playmakers outside. They have a kid that stepped up, McKinley. And they get a couple of speed guys back, Lindsey and I forget the other kid's name right now. But it's Book, and Dan was right. Book was a pedestrian quarterback, and now he looks fantastic all of a sudden. The defense is great. The offensive line is great. They're a legit national championship football team. So we are very looking forward to them coming off bye this week and playing again next week. I want to say it's North Carolina.
Yeah,
he's probably
I'm
the
worried
third
about
best
that
team.
one. I mean, that's another quality team there, Mac Brown.
All right, we started talking about Notre Dame right in the middle of the Steelers-Jags game. Once again, the Steelers -10 to Jacksonville.
We're picking the Steelers. Let's move on.
I don't want to move on yet. The Jaguars played great in Green Bay, and they had a good.
They did. That was shocking. Though.
They had the ball at the end of the game, down 4, and had a chance to win. Their rookie quarterback couldn't do a lot with it. They did end up losing that game. The Steelers are -10. Dan's already declared he's on the Steelers. I don't see another way to go. This is the second week in a row Pittsburgh gets a rookie quarterback to play against. I think their defense will confuse them. I'm going to lay the 10 points as well. All right, next game up, the New England Patriots, who are 4-5. They go to play the Houston Texans, who are 2-7 on the year. The Patriots are a small line at -2. They go to visit their old buddy Romeo Crennel, who took over the reins in Houston. Let's talk about the Pats first. The Pats. On Monday night against Baltimore.
I could not believe how hard it was raining in that game.
It was raining hard. Just when we're ready to bury the Patriots, they do something like this.
Right.
And they just pounded the ball at Baltimore, which is not an easy feat to do. I know Baltimore is a little bit. I want to say they're banged up a little bit on the defensive side. Everybody's banged up once you're at the midway,
Banged up or
past
COVID.
the midway point, or COVID it up. Yeah, but that was an impressive performance. I know there was a monsoon going on at Gillette and in northeast, the northeastern part of the country, but they go down south. They play the Houston Texans. Like I said, the Patriots are -2. I'll take the lead on this. I'm going to buy the Patriots. I mean, I bought them before and got burnt. I'm buying them again this week at -2.
I'm going with the Patriots too. Houston, I know they came here to Cleveland last week. The weather probably, played a factor in their performance. They have some weapons on the team. They got a good quarterback, but they just did not look interested in playing the game at all.
As it gets later in the season, Dan makes a very valid point that teams become disinterested. Obviously, individual players are playing for performance and contracts, but as far as the cohesiveness and playing as a team, he's right. It could go off the rails a little bit. I think there were some questionable coaching decisions by the Houston Texans in the Cleveland game.
I agree with that.
As well, in any event, we both like Romeo Crennel. I'm on the Patriots -2.
Yep.
All right, we're both in agreement again on this. That is running 5 in a row. Here we go with the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 3-5-1 record. They come into town to play the Cleveland Browns, who sit at a 6-3 record. By the way, there are 6 AFC teams sitting at 6-3. It will be a dogfight for those wild card playoff slots.
To me, this is a playoff game for the Browns. They have to win this game.
They
have to. If they want to make the playoffs, they have to win this game. They should win this game. They're a better team. Show up and play frickin' football.
They're 3.5-point favorites. Obviously, last week they got Chubb back. They're a two-headed monster at running back.
2 guys over 100 yards rushing.
Yes.
19 carries apiece.
And I tell you what, I think it wasn't only the Chubb's back. They got one of their offensive linemen back really good. What's his name? Wyatt Teller, yeah. I mean, the offensive line is a huge part of any team. They don't get a lot of recognition, but the offense goes as the offensive line goes, frankly. So they got that piece back.
Backup Chris Hubbard, he does have COVID, so he's out. And they just put Jack Conklin, the starting right tackle. He's on the list, so he's got to pass 2 or 3 tests before he can come off the list. So we could be playing the Lamb dude could be playing right tackle for us.
Oh, boy. Yeah,
and then a backup, who knows? I mean, we drafted that kid from Washington. I know they signed some other dudes, but I mean, hey, next man up though. They got to win. I'm telling you, this is a playoff game for the Browns. If they don't come out on top of this,
I hear you.
Too many teams 6-3. The one that kills us is that Raiders game. We should have beat the Raiders.
You had a huge win against Indianapolis.
Yep.
A bad loss against the Raiders.
Yep.
Dan mentioned earlier that we're supposed to have a couple days in the 60s. Do you have any idea what the forecast is for Sunday?
Rain.
Rain?
Here, rain. But it's the Eagles. They're used to that. I mean, I'm not. That's not.
Yeah, I mean,
weather's not going to be an advantage for either team in this.
I'm not impressed by Baker Mayfield. Still, I'm not sold on him at all.
You loved him when they drafted him.
I did. I said, that guy, yeah, take him because he's a football player. I don't know. He struggled and he continues to struggle, but the running game is impressive. The line's 3.5. Dan, it's your football team. Tell us what's going to happen.
Taking them. Browns.
I'm going the other way. I think it's a very close football game. I love the hook in the game. I think it very well may be a field goal game. I don't believe in Cody Parkey ever, who I believe is on the COVID list.
Yeah, he's on the list too.
As well. They'll play. They'll end up playing.
Hey, our long snapper's on the list. Mac Wilson is the backup. A freaking linebacker from Alabama is the backup long snapper for us.
He'll make it happen.
Nick Saban taught him well.
I continue to pound the drum for Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Dan said, let him play receiver, let him play running back. I said let him throw the damn ball. I mean, Wentz is not doing anything here.
Leave him in there. We need turnovers.
Peterson's afraid to pull the plug or shake, not necessarily pull the plug, but shake the confidence of Wentz. No way. It's time to win. This division's up for grabs, that horrible NFC East. I mean, you can't lose this football game. If Wentz underwhelms again in the first half, pull the plug and play Hurts, man. Take a chance at this. Anyway, I'm on a little bit of rant about that. I'm taking the 3.5 with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sure I won't make the fans here happy that I picked against their Brownies. In any event, we spent a long time on that game. The Detroit Lions, they go to play the Carolina Panthers.
Hey, you'll probably win it because we'll get chubbed again.
Yeah. Dan mentioned that. There were a couple of games. I know it's fun talking about different things. I know we went on a little break and talked about Notre Dame for a second. There were two games. Dan just mentioned Chubb went out of bounds at the 1 yard line with less than a minute left.
56 seconds left.
I'm not so sure about the decision. That would have put him up 9. Extra point makes it 10. You know, they were lauding him for, his intelligence and this and that. I understand you get a kneel on the ball, but a 10-point lead with 56 seconds left is pretty damn good too. Anyway, that burnt Dan and I. The other game was the Hail Mary game with Arizona and Buffalo, where they score the touchdown, and then Cliff Kingsbury decides not to kick the extra point and kneel on it in case it got blocked and returned for 2 to tie the game. That jacked the Lions well. But anyway, that's the bettor's life. That's the way it goes. I guess that's what makes it exhilarating and fun. All right, Detroit Lions. They are 4-5. They go to play the Carolina Panthers, who are 3-7. The Panthers are a short line favorite at 1.5. The Lions last week, we mentioned they blew a 20-point lead or 21-point lead. They found a way to win the game. I did see a bit of it. I also saw DeAndre Swift, their rookie running back out of Georgia's stat line. He seems to look like a player to me. The Panthers. Christian McCaffrey's not going to play again.
I don't see why they would play him again.
Well, Mike Davis is plenty serviceable in that backup role that he's been in. Bridgewater got hurt. It looks like he is going to play. I think he practiced today. The Panthers are -1.5. I've said it before that the Detroit always gets close to the 500 number because they can't get over it. I'm expecting them not to get over it again. I'm taking the Panthers -1.5 in this game.
I'm taking the Panthers too. They can't catch a break with McCaffrey, but I still think they're a decent football team, and they're going to be at home. And I just have no faith. To me, the Bears are a train wreck. They're hit or miss.
The Bears are the Lions.
I'm sorry, but your team's Freudian slip. Really, I'm looking at you. Yeah, your Bears suck too.
The Bears are on bye. Fine, Dan brought it up. We're going to talk about it. That is next level horrendous offense in Chicago. They're on bye this week, thankfully, because this podcast would be, instead of 35 minutes, it'd be an hour and 35 minutes to be talking about.
No, it wouldn't be that long because there's
God.
Not that much to talk about. They just suck on offense.
I hope Trubisky can come back after the bye week from his shoulder injury, because Nick Foles' mobility drives me crazy. The statue of George Halas outside of Soldier Field has more mobility than Nick Foles. I can't stand it. In any event, we're not talking about the Bears. Dan and I are both on the Panthers -1.5, correct? All right.
Panthers.
All right, we got a good game to talk about next. It is the end of the 1 o'clock slate. It is the Tennessee Titans, who are 6-3. They go to play the Baltimore Ravens, who are also 6-3. We talked about there being 6 AFC teams at 6-3. The Ravens are -6.5 in this game. The over/under is 49. Tennessee, they're coming off of getting beat pretty good by Indianapolis on Thursday night. They, their defense isn't good.
No, I don't, and I can't understand it for the life of me. I really like Vrabel as a coach, defensive guy. I mean,
Tennessee is what Indianapolis, or they're trying to be what Indianapolis is, which is a good defense and a serviceable offense.
Exactly.
So Tennessee's trying to be Indianapolis, and Indianapolis has a leg up in that division. We'll talk about them in a little bit here.
I mean, good grief, if they didn't have Derrick Henry,
right,
that team would be awful.
The playmakers on that side
could
aren't
be
that
in the
bad.
NFC East.
I don't know what happened to the defense. The playmakers on the offensive side isn't that bad. With A.J. Brown, Henry and Tannehill, it's okay. He's pretty good. I mean, has a difficult time throwing the deep ball. I don't know. I remember at the beginning of that Thursday night game, Indianapolis and Tennessee, that ball that A.J. Brown dropped that was right in his basket, and he bobbled it and things like that. Anyway, the Ravens last week, we talked about them earlier as well. They got pounded into monsoon up at Gillette in New England. The passing game's a mess in Baltimore. I mean, they're not a shoo-in for the playoffs. Everybody act like they were a shoo-in at the beginning of the year for the playoffs, and Lamar coming off his MVP season. They're a shell of what they were.
He doesn't look like Lamar from last year.
Do crabs have shells?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they do.
See,
yeah,
crab
nice.
dig, Baltimore, they shell themselves.
Nice.
I like it. I didn't mean to do it, but this line's Baltimore -6.5. I'm unsure who I'm going to pick right now, so I'm going to defer to Dan and let him go first.
I don't know. Both of these teams are in front of the Browns when it comes to the playoffs.
And it's not how you're supposed to pick.
We play both. I know. I'm looking.
Yelling at Dave.
Shit. I mean, 6.5. I think the Ravens win the game, but I don't think it's going to be by 6.5. I'm going to have to go with the Titans.
I'm going to go the other way. I last minute the other way. Baltimore's too talented of a team on offense, or has the parts to be a talented offense, not to put this together.
I mean, it's going to come down to running the football.
Yeah,
and I take the guy from Tennessee. I mean, I like the running back stable at Baltimore. Ingram, and then you got J.K. Dobbins,
yeah, the rookie
from
of Ohio State, right.
But, man, if Henry gets going, look out.
Look at this over-under number, though, 49. Do you think you would see a 49 number between Baltimore and Tennessee? That's a big number.
That's a big number.
So, we're in disagreement, and it's only I think the second time on the board
Yeah, you freaking
tonight.
took the Eagles.
I did take the Eagles. I'm going to take the Titans plus the 6.5, or I'm going to take the Ravens minus 6.5. Dan's taking the Titans plus the 6.5.
Pick the Ratbirds.
All right, that is the end of the 1 o'clock slate. The 4 o'clock slate starts with the New York Jets, the 0-9 New York Jets, going out to L.A., a very long trip to play the 2-7 L.A. Chargers. The Chargers are minus 8.5. The over-under on this game is 47. No Sam Darnold. The good news for the Jets, they didn't lose last week.
Yeah.
They're on bye. They're on bye. Joe Flacco starting for that team. The Chargers. The good news for the Chargers is they didn't lose on the last play of the game. Yeah. They still lost. So I saw Justin Herbert cut his hair today. Kind of a bad haircut, if you ask me. The Chargers are minus 8.5 in this game. The over-under is 47. I'll take the lead. I'm never playing the Jets. I don't think. I can't imagine that I would. I'm laying the full 8.5 with the LA Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers, too. Flacco's, I think, he's probably kind of pissed that he's got to play. I think he just was hoping to cash some checks, be around a little bit. He's like, son of a
Not
bitch.
so bad making, $5, $6, $7 million.
So, that team, again, another one who I think as the season drags on is checked out. And they know where they're at. And
I'm sure there's a lot of players on the Jets team have checked out. I think, they're checked out on the coaching staff as well. We think the Jets kept Adam Gase around to continue to lose for Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or whatever the situation may be. Enough with this game.
I mean, the Chargers might have checked out too at their record, but I still think they play with the young kid. They play for him.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think the Chargers checked out at all.
No,
they're building this thing. I mean,
right.
they're at the ground floor, and they got their chess piece once again. The quarterback. They're just building for next year. They know they're not going anywhere as regards to the playoffs this year, but they're trying to put this thing together for next year and be in that mix when we're talking about the playoffs coming up. So, all right, the next game I'm going to talk quite a bit. My in-laws team, the Miami Football Dolphins, are 3-point favorites going out to Denver. Dolphins 6-3. Once again, one of those 6 AFC teams with the 6-3 record. They go play the Denver Broncos, who have the opposite record of 3-6. The Dolphins are finding a way to do it in all kinds of different ways. They've had special teams plays the last few weeks. Tua looks okay. The defense. I think the defense is certainly the best part of that team. Your team.
There's no doubt about it. The defense is really good. And, man, Denver's team stinks on offense.
They do. Drew Lock is a huge question mark.
Terrible.
I think he threw 4 picks last week. I mean, it's very unclear whether or not Drew Lock's going to be able to lead this football team going forward, or if John Elway made another mistake in drafting a quarterback.
Keep John Elway there. Love it, baby. I hated him when he played, but I love him as a general manager. Let him run that freaking team to the ground.
The Dolphins have a chance here to square the AFC East right now. Buffalo is a 7-3. They are on bye this week. They can tie the division lead, move the record to 7-3. I don't know if they've played the Bills yet this year. Maybe they have. I'm happy. I'm happy for my father-in-law, Tom. I'm happy for Kevin. He's diehard, the rest of the Daily Clan. You guys have a winner, and I think they're going to be in the playoffs, and I don't have any problems. They're not going to play at home if they make the playoffs. They're going to play up north, most likely somewhere, but I don't care, because the best part of your team is your defense, and defenses travel in cold weather. It's not a problem. They go out to Denver. It's going to be cold weather. They get a test right now for the playoffs coming up. I know I'm hyping you guys up. I'm 100% laying the Fins -3. I love this line.
I'm going with the Broncos.
What? Why? What for? What
altitude.
Altitude.
Yeah,
Altitude.
it's going to affect the Dolphins. Altitude. Taking it.
Maybe. I don't buy it.
Tua's going to struggle there.
He may struggle, but once again, the best part of that defense, or I keep on saying the best part of that team is the defense.
That's fine. It'll be field position, short field, because Tua's going to struggle.
I'm not trying
Calling
to
it right now.
I'm not trying to get Dan to change his mind.
You can't.
It's one of my favorite lines, and Dan went the other way on the game. So very good. Next game up on the slate, the Dallas Cowboys. They're 2-7 record. They do get Andy Dalton back. They go play the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 4-5.
They're going off a bye?
The Cowboys?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are coming off a bye.
Would you start Dalton? Or leave
No,
that kid in?
No, we talked about that
Yeah.
last week. Gilbert Grape played. Whatever it was, Garrett Gilbert, whatever his name
Gilbert.
is. Yeah, I mean, they played. Remember, they played 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
against Pittsburgh, and they had a chance to win the game at the
Yeah.
end. They're on bye. They're not a good football. I wouldn't play Dalton either.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, what's the use? I mean, Dalton's not going to be your quarterback next year. I mean, maybe Gilbert Grape lights it up. I keep on calling him that, Garrett Gilbert. In any event, I think it's funny. The Vikings, they're coming off beating my Chicago Bears on Monday night. They've won 3 games in a row. They're 4-5. They're not completely out of this division. They think they're in the playoff hunt. They got a lot of confidence going. They're 7-point favorites, and I don't see how not to play them. I'll take the lead, and I'm going to lay the 7 on the Vikings.
And Dalvin Cook's changed that team. The offense looks better. Thielen had some success just because Dalvin Cook's on the field. I'm going with the Vikings, too, on this one.
Yeah.
Cowboys blow.
The Cowboys.
America's team is awful. And I'm sure that'll be the primetime 4 o'clock game for those of you that just have cable.
I would
At
hope
least
not.
around here.
I mentioned that. I don't know. I don't understand the playing Andy Dalton. Ezekiel Elliott's losing carries for them too, as well, with that Pollard kid running the ball. So he looks better than Elliott does. Maybe they reboot that whole thing. Who knows? We are both on the Vikings -7. Next game up on the slate, a very good game. The Green Bay Packers travel to play the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are a short line favorite here. They are 1.5-point favorites. The Packers are 7-2. The Colts, once again, one of those 6 teams, 6-3. What a logjam at 6-3 in the AFC. We'll talk about the Packers first. They come off a very lackluster performance against Jacksonville.
I can't figure them out. You play down to your competition, I guess. They look awful.
Yeah, 1 week they look like world beaters, and then the next week they don't. They still have Aaron Rodgers. He's such a playmaker. But, the Indianapolis Colts defense is no joke. And, they've had a layoff here. They have control of the AFC South right now with the win over Tennessee on that Thursday night. The defense is really good. The passing game this is a tough line. Colts once again -1.5. You take the lead.
Packers. I'm going to go with the Aaron Rodgers factor on this one. I know the defense is good, but Green Bay, you're going to be in a dome, so weather's not an issue. I'm going with the Packers.
It seems like this should be the Packers, and I'm not picking against the Packers because I hate the Packers, and off the record, on the record, I don't care, record player, I hate the Packers. But that's not the reason. It's the Indianapolis Colts defense. I love them. I think they're going to, continue with that stranglehold in that division. They got a huge game coming up against Tennessee next week. I like them to cover this short line. I'm on the Colts -1.5. That is the end of the 4 o'clock slate. On Sunday Night Football, we have another rematch. The Kansas City Chiefs come off bye.
Unless COVID takes over.
Right. They are 8-1. They go out to play the Las Vegas Raiders, who are 6-3. The Chiefs are a full touchdown favorite, -7. The over-under on this game is 57. I mentioned earlier this is a rematch. They played earlier in the year. The Raiders got the best of the Chiefs in Arrowhead. They scored a ton of points on them, too.
And I believe I picked that one right.
You might have. I think you did.
I know
it all blends in a little bit. The Raiders have won 3 games in a row. I
know. They beat the damn Browns.
I referred to them as a Jekyll and Hyde team earlier. They're not so much anymore. The Chiefs are -7. They're looking for some revenge. You want to go first, or you want me to?
No, you can go.
I'm laying it. I'm laying the Juggernaut Chiefs at -7.
Yeah, that's.
They want some revenge.
Oh, there's a revenge factor there. The COVID thing. This game's crazy. Both the tackles, starting tackles, Fisher and Schwartz for the Chiefs, and I think the one backup is on the list.
And you're right.
Where the Raiders that Farrell kid from Clemson has it,
Cleveland
so
Farrell,
he's
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Chiefs on this. Again, too many weapons. I think those two tackles come off and they roll.
Dan and I are both on the Chiefs. I mentioned the revenge factor thing. The Las Vegas Raiders were accused. There's obviously nobody in the parking lots. There's huge parking lots around Arrowhead Stadium. They took a few victory laps around the stadium after they won that game and then left on their team buses. I think it irked Kansas City a little
What
bit.
do you mean? They drove the buses around?
Yeah, did a couple of circles.
Nice. Good for them.
That's fun. It's
Hell
fun.
yeah, it is.
It's fun. That's fun stuff about sports. That's what happens. These teams don't like each other. I'm guessing it's going to be a chippy game. I love Mahomes in this game, though, again. We're both on the Chiefs -7. That is Sunday Night Football. The Monday night game is also very attractive. The Los Angeles Rams go to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Rams are 6-3. The Bucs are 7-3. This line is Tampa Bay -3. The over/under on this game is 47. The Rams come off a great big win, a huge win against Seattle.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked about Seattle a little bit earlier. One of the things that impressed me most about the Rams was Jalen Ramsey was able to shut down DK Metcalf. I think he had 2 catches for 28 yards, and they didn't come until like the fourth quarter. They're a tough team to figure out, but they have a very good defense. They have a very good offense, I would say. The Bucs, I mean, they're somewhat of a conundrum to me. They went to Carolina last week. They absolutely destroyed them later on, and Tom Brady got to go.
A little early. I mean, it was.
No, they're hard. These are hard teams to figure out.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it's cannon time. It is cannon time.
Oh yeah, baby.
If you missed it, Dan referred to as the cannon guy.
That's a Monday night game too, so everybody pay attention to the cannon fire if Tampa Bay scores.
Yeah, they'll score. They got to score. Dan referred to as a sissy ass cannon guy. He wants more from the cannon guy.
He should be fired.
Bucks are -3. I think the Bucks find a way to win it. I'm going to lay the short line 3.
I'm going with the Bucks too, at home with the cannon.
We've agreed on quite a few games. It's probably normal. We probably have 4 or 5 that are different. That is the end of the National Football League slate. On bye this week are the 49ers. Fortunately for me, my Bears.
Yeah, fortunately for you.
My goodness. The Giants and the
They're
Bills.
working on flag football quarterbacks right now as we speak.
I don't even know how to defend that. He's right. It's awful. It's just an
Sean
awful
Kaiser's
situation.
in town, baby.
Anyway, all right. We are. What are we at? I'm 4-2 in our bonus college game. I'm 4-2 now in the college ranks. Dan's
I don't know.
3-3.
You can say whatever you want because the notes aren't on here. I can't disagree with you. I think I'm undefeated.
You're not undefeated. Dan is 3-3. Fought his way back to 500. I'm 4-2. It's the game I picked this week is number 9 Indiana going to play the local team. Number 3 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes are huge favorites at 20. Indiana. I got a chance to watch him because I knew I was going to pick this game. Their quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. is his name. Penix. He's only a sophomore. He's a pretty darn good player. I don't think he's a next level player or a Sunday player, a professional. He's going to be there for a long time, and he's going to keep Indiana relevant. I like their offense. It's fun. It's dynamic. They're going to go play in the horseshoe. A juggernaut offense in Ohio State. What do you think in this game?
Well, what do I think of who Indiana's beaten? All teams that suck. Michigan, Penn State, they're not good. Ohio State's ranked number 3, so everybody else thinks they're good. I expect Ohio State to cover the 20.
I'm going with Dan, and my reasoning is it's because Dan mentioned earlier, there's not a whole lot in the Big Ten this year.
There's not.
This would be the Buckeyes' signature win to impress the college football playoff voters. I think they're going to run it up. I think they're going to run it up if they can.
Exactly.
I think they end up in the 60s
to.
in points. It looks like a 60-24 game to me, or something like this.
I wouldn't mind seeing Indiana play Northwestern because aren't they undefeated?
The other side of that's terrible.
Yeah.
The other side's terrible. Whoever Ohio State's going to play in that Big Ten championship game, it's not going to be their signature win. I think it's going to be this one. So I fully expect Ryan Day to have the throttle fully open on this game and try to impress the college football playoff voters. All right, that is the entire week of the National Football League. That is your bonus pick for college football.
What'd you think of that?
I like it a lot.
It's a strong number 2.
It is a strong number 2. It is not a Christmas ale. It is a candy cane stout. I feel like I drank an entire like package of peppermint patties.
Now, come on now.
Very good. That's been week 11 of On Top of the Case. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.